The Hunter Training School is a special academy where students awaken their class. But then there are some unlucky students like Ling Wenxing, the protagonist of our story, who has attempted 6 awakenings, only to fail every time. The poor guy is humbled by his teacher, who thinks Wenxing is doomed to fail and will never become an awakened hunter. Wenxing is at a loss. His hard work was in the mud after 6 unsuccessful attempts. The boy slouches in defeat, thinking that he's destined to fail. But then a book falls on his head. It's his brother, Yu Tao, who is casually levitating in the air as a wind wizard. Awakened hunters are immediately granted the lowest D rank, and the ones who obtain C rank are considered prodigies. Yu Tao was one of those special students. He knew that his brother was struggling to awaken his powers. Yu Tao comforted his dear brother with soothing words of encouragement, but still, life had been rough for this guy. Wenxing is supposed to head back to Area 22, a revelation that alarms his brother. Let's rewind some time for a backstory. The year 2050 is when the world fell to an apocalypse of monsters caused by a deadly virus. Heroes with special powers were the only line of defense to stop their rampage. Those heroes were granted access to Skyline City, and the ones who were deemed talentless were cast away from the school. Wenxing darts his eyes on the beautiful Zilan. His brother Yu Tao knows that he's got the hots for her, so he makes it embarrassing by calling her out. Yu Tao leaves the 2 lovebirds to talk to each other, having created the perfect opportunity for Wenxing. Our boy remembers how insignificant his encounters with Zilan are, because he's a loser who doesn't have any talent. He doesn't want to bear any regrets before he's sent away, so he takes the bold step of talking to her. Zilan is curious and wants to know if he awakened his powers. Before he could answer, Wenxing is grabbed by Li Wei, an annoying bully. Wei has been extremely jealous of Yu Tao's talent, so to take out his frustration, he bullies Wenxing instead. Wei steals his note and activates his powers, dismantling Wenxing on the spot. Then, he reads his notes, only to break into a roaring laughter with his buddies. They ridicule our boy for failing 6 times in a row without being able to awaken his powers. Wei can't comprehend how Yu Tao ended up a prodigy while his brother remained trash. Wenxing has had enough. Determined, he chucks a fist in his face, but the attack ends up hurting his own fist instead. It's the height of embarrassment as he gets tossed away by Wei and his goons. Zilan comes to his aid, but even Wei can't understand why she would bother talking to someone so talentless and trash. Using her healing powers, Lan tries to heal his injuries. Wei is forceful in his approach and grabs Lan's arm. Wenxing tries to stop him but gets the crap beat out of him. Wei reminds him to stay on the ground where he belongs and harasses Lan. Suddenly, a strong voice commands that he let go of her. One attack sends Wei flying in the distance. Yu Tao has arrived, looking like Superman's son or something. Wei knows he can't challenge the dude and instantly surrenders. He takes his goons and leaves like a coward. Yu Tao comes to Wenxing's aid, but he's feeling down and wants to be left alone for a while. Wenxing rushes, unaccepting of the world's treatment of the weak. He wants to become a strong hero to protect his friends and really hates being weak, but even Wenxing knows that complaining will get him nowhere. While he's observing the city, he spots something strange. A bunch of zombies are invading the city. Circling back to the start of the apocalypse, the zombies created from the virus are known to be aggressive monsters. Normal weapons don't work against these guys, so it's better to use special powers. Even though there are many hunters, the zombies continue to be on the rise, reducing the human population by the day and conquering the earth. The problem lies in their mutation. They've become even stronger, and what Wenxing saw just now was an example of such mutations. He rushes to arrive at the scene, only to find a mountain of corpses lying around at his feet. The zombies have already made their way into the building. One voice calls out for help, beginning to be saved. It's Zilan, and a monster is on its way to attack her. Wenxing thinks fast, and knows that if he rushes blindly, then he will die. As Zilan is about to meet her doom, Wenxing still steps in to save her. He holds off the creature but eventually gets pushed to the ground. Lan apologizes for putting him at risk, but this isn't the time for an apology. It's time to run away. As the creature is making its attack, its head gets slashed out of the blue. It's Yu Tao who has come to rescue his friends. Even Li Wei is here, still going on about his trash talking. Yu Tao explains that the monsters bypassed the school's barrier. But when Wenxing explains that he saw mutated zombies invading, it astonishes his friends. Wei doesn't believe him, but our boy emphasizes that it is what it is. A frustrated Wei wants to blindly rush inside. Wenxing stops this dumbass from dying and suggests they head outside of the school instead. It seems like a crazy idea to Wei and jumps ahead to beat him up. Wei explains that they should head inside and wait for Hunter reinforcements to take care of the mission. But Wenxing has a different idea. He knows how mutated zombies will likely target the gathered area of humans, which also means that they'll find it easy to attack the ones trying to escape. Wengxing wants Wei's cooperation combined with Yu Tao to fend off the normal zombies. Yu Tao likes the idea and wants to follow his brother's approach. Of course, Wei is a smart cookie and knows that he's dead if he acts alone. So he joins in too. They pummel their way through the easy zombies. Wengxing's plan is working like a charm. Lan is healing our boy for his injuries. Dude is having butterflies in the middle of a zombie invasion. They're close to the exit when they discover a hunter's vehicle arriving on the scene. It seems that Wengxing's plan worked incredibly well. He may not have awakened his abilities, but he's still got a sharp head on his shoulders. Everything was going well until Yu Tao noticed something frightening. He commands his brother to dodge, but unfortunately, Wengxing is clueless. In the end, Yu Tao sacrificed himself to save his brother and suffered an infectious bite on his neck. The Z virus quickly began to spread over his body. Wengxing begged the hunters to let his brother be rescued, but they strongly opposed the idea because there was the risk of Yu Tao's zombie transformation. Wengxing emphasized that his brother can repel the virus for a while. But while they're arguing, a giant monstrosity as well as the other zombies are coming their way. Wei tries to help Wengxing, but then something completely unexpected happens. Wengxing is kicked by Zilan in an unexpected plot twist. Even Wei is shocked she pulled such a move. Turns out, Lan is selfish and only wanted to prioritize her own life. The hunters stepped on the gas and left Wengxing in the dirt. The poor boy was helpless in the wake of monsters who were approaching to kill him. His own thoughts began weighing down on him. The boy regretted being weaker than his idol hero. He wanted to have a second chance too. He wanted to change his life just as it was about to end. His desperate cry for help is answered in the form of a thunderous crash. For the first time in forever, Wengxing awakens his powers and acquires a unique system. Wengxing is impressed by his new powers. Just awakening his skill destroyed the monsters around him. He sees the status screen and surprises himself with another zombie attack alert round the corner. The monsters try to attack him. Wengxing dodges and would have been taken down if he didn't know about the sudden alert. He has trouble understanding the screen's warning. There's the option to dodge or fight back. Dodging has its risk because his brother will be harmed. Wengxing entrusts his powers and for strange reasons, his body moves on its own as he punches down a zombie. This unexpected power is the same as his first attack. He wonders if the screen has something to do with his professional skills as an awakened. His stats also increased, allowing Wengxing to level up and gain 2 points. He's clueless about his new system, but right now, his top priority is to run the heck away from this zombie horde. Wengxing creates a path for himself. Choosing option number 2, dodge, significantly boosts his reflexes, while choosing option 1, fight back, boosts his attack. Wengxing has a gauntlet that collects his experience points after killing zombies. He obliterates more zombies with an energy wave attack. It's time for him to go full strength. Wengxing decides to spam both options and creates a powerful shockwave attack that blinds the zombies. He uses this chance to flee from the area. The points he gains helps him increase his stats, but using both options together helps him control his body faster. Wengxing escorts Yu Tao to safety, but still, his brother has been infected. He wants to seek medical help, but suddenly they both get attacked by the giant boss monster. The system goes crazy in alarming Wengxing. The last thing we see is a giant energy wave casted by Wengxing, implying that he made his move. The scene cuts to the A-rank hunter Liu Yong. His team has come to find the city in ruins. They've killed the monsters around the school, but they've yet to encounter any signs of mutated zombies. Yang questions if they discovered any survivors. Unfortunately, they found none. He signals his group to discover the cause of this invasion so that they can ensure the safety of the city. Yang receives a sudden report from one of his subordinates about a survivor. When they get there, they see Wengxing and Yu Tao. Unfortunately, the virus has already taken its effects on his brother's body. The only reason they survived a fight against the boss monster is because Wengxing activated both choices. Yu Tao's condition is critical, and he needs to see a doctor. Luckily, Yang's expert team of hunters has arrived. They're happy to have found the survivors. But not so fast. There needs to be an interrogation before the rescue. Yang wants to know if any of them are infected. This is a clear problem. Wengxing knows he can't manipulate his way out of this one, so he chooses to stand up and state the truth about his brother's condition. Yang wants him to leave Yu Tao as he is, only prioritizing Wengxing's rescue. But obviously the boy doesn't want to leave his brother behind, and hopes to acquire medicine to stop the infection. However, the medicine is too expensive and reserved only for the best of hunters, which is why it won't be possible. There's another massive problem. If Yu Tao becomes a zombie, he will actually become a mutated monster because of his skills as a hunter. Yang's team is ready to kill Yu Tao to prevent that future from coming true. They're prepared to take Wengxing down if necessary. Our boy isn't in the mood to abandon his brother and wonders why his skill points are empty. He sees a navigation map and plays around, looking like an idiot in front of the hunters. Time is short, especially since Yutao could become a mutated zombie any minute. Wengxing realizes the location of the mutated zombie on the map and strikes a deal with the team. He's ready to show them the way if they help save his brother. Yang sees something in the boy, since he is reminded of his sister. Yang asks if he fought against mutated zombies. Upon Wengxing's confirmation, he's ready to take the boy at his word. It's what he's decided as the final order. Yang emphasizes that if Yutao tries to attack, then they will take measures. Even Wengxing is ready to kill his brother if he starts attacking them. Now that they're out of the pit, Wengxing uses his map to follow the location of the red dot. He points to the school, which is where he thinks the monster is. Nearly 200 zombies are in the distance as detected by one of the hunters. Horrifyingly enough, there aren't any survivors left in the school. Since they're dealing with such a large group, the mission will be impossible without reinforcements. Leader Yang prepares his teammates to work together. One of the hunters dons a special armor, jumping right into the fight and eviscerating the zombies in a clean forward attack. He fends off a bunch of them with his amazing agility. Wengxing recognizes the infected schoolteacher. Since he had muscle-strengthening ability, the monster morphs into a giant mutation with the same powers. Unfortunately, his strength outclasses the hunter, which is why Four Eyes has to shoot him down. Since they've cleared an opening, the hunters can move ahead. Wengxing recognizes that their teacher was once a strong member of a hunter squad, so this goes to show just how powerful the real hunter squad actually is, for taking him down like that. Since infected hunters have superpowers in their mutations, it's going to become a real problem if Yutao submits to the virus. Wengxing is prepared to take full responsibility over his brother if he becomes infected. Four Eyes doesn't seem to be an asshole to our boy anymore, and even offers to help him when necessary. Yang stops his group, sensing a heat source of energy nearby. But in truth, it's just a way to tease Xiao Yu for being a softie. Yu turns to Wengxing to confirm directions. They're very close to their target, even though our boy is uncertain of the validity of the map. The girl detects over 100 zombies along with one mutated zombie inside. It's time for the group to finally break inside. Peeking from above, they spot the mutated monstrosity as well as the zombies. Not only did the zombies attack the school, but they're also strategizing in an incomprehensible way. The hunter squad dives in, leaving Wengxing behind. Our boy wants to help around and kill some monsters. It's strange that his system keeps deleting and adding his points back. The girl, Luo Xin, tells him he's got nothing to worry about since the dudes who just broke inside are hella strong. Creepy crawlies and fucked up looking faces are staring them down. Yang is ready to whoop them with his party. A little background information on the squad. Yang and his buddies belong to one of Skyline City's districts, but unfortunately they didn't have much security, and all 4 orphans had to defend themselves growing up. They escaped from the zombies and gathered supplies to ensure survival. They bonded together, becoming a family, and being able to survive in the apocalypse. But those happy times were short-lived. After all, they were moments away from their demise as the zombies would eventually corner them. Yang had a strong desire to gain power so that he could protect his family, which became his determination to survive. Circling back to the present, Yang's team is annihilating the zombie horde. The mutant zombie is slashed in an instant by the team's leader, who proved once again that his squad is the best in the game. Even our boy Wengxing is impressed that they were able to beat a mutated zombie so easily. Xin explains that it's all thanks to their leader, who always protected them. She seems to have taken a liking to Yang, and Wengxing notices her infatuation. With the rest of the zombies defeated, Wengxing and Xin make Theory descent. He's shocked to find so many crystals, but that's not the case. While the hunter squad can't see, Wengxing has the ability to spot those crystals because of his system. Since their mission was a success and Wengxing kept his promise, Yang wants to offer him the medicine required to save his brother. Yu, despite his embarrassment, has to come to terms with the deal. Wengxing remembers the scene to be quite familiar. These hunters were the spitting image of the hero he wanted to become. Wengxing finally thinks he'll be able to become the hero of his dreams thanks to his fancy new system. His current interest lies with the crystals flowing out of the zombie corpses after their defeat. Although strangely, the mutated zombie doesn't seem to have any. Suddenly, a bright red aura emerges to their horror. The mutated zombie wasn't dead, and it has just impaled Xin with its claw. Xin flops to the ground, dead. Four Eyes is pissed, but it's already too late, as even he gets cut down by a simple strike. Both Yu and Xin were killed before Yang's eyes. Enraged, he jumps in to slash the creature down, but nothing is working. His attacks aren't enough to cut it down. In a twist of horror, the mutant creature they were fighting became a candidate class monster. A monster that was strong enough to hurt an A-rank hunter. Just as Yang is about to be killed, Li steps in to block the attack, instructing his leader to run away. Yang tries to help, but he's in no condition to do so. Li offers his gratitude to the captain for saving their lives so many times. Unfortunately, even his defenses are shattered as the monster cuts through his armor. Wengxing can't believe his eyes. The indestructible A-rank party has been annihilated by one creature. What's more is that Yutao's condition is getting even worse, so he can't just outrun the monster with ease. He wonders if the system can help him out. Meanwhile, Yang is on his last leg, realizing that they lost. The party that he founded when they were kids is now seconds away from being wiped out. The creature prepares its final attack and tries to crush Yang. However, he survives the attack thanks to Wengxing's speed. The A-rank hunter is impressed because what he just pulled off is comparable to an A-rank hunter's speed. It makes him wonder about Wengxing's true identity. But there's little time to talk about that, especially when the creature is attacking them left and right. The situation is tough, and Wengxing has one chance to use his transformation ability once he reaches level 3. He learns that each time the EXP bar reaches completion, he levels up and acquires a skill point. That's how he got 3 skill points to add to his dodging skill. Yang has a feeling that Wengxing might be capable of fighting the candidate class monster. When a mutated monster reaches a state of evolution, it's called a candidate monster. It's necessary to kill the beast before it evolves even further. Yang lays out a plan to distract the creature, allowing Wengxing to focus on delivering a finishing move. But still, it's going to be tough since not even Wengxing should be able to damage it so easily. Since he added 3 skill points to his dodging skill, he was able to evade the strike. If he adds those points to his attack stat, then his speed will suffer. The mutated zombie rushes to attack while Yang uses true eyesight skill at max output to block the creature. This lets Wengxing have the opportunity to make his move. He first adds all his points to dodging, and then, at the last second, switches those points to his attacking stat. This way, Wengxing is able to pummel the creature into the ground with a single punch. Strangely, the monster is nowhere to be found. That's because it was never hit in the first place. The creature appeared from behind and attacked Wengxing, who was luckily saved by Yang at the final moment. Yang's overuse of his skills is affecting his condition. Their one strike to beat the monster failed. Yang asks if Wengxing follows a distribution selection skill. Basically, all hunters are divided into 4 categories, which means if one is strong, the other categories will suffer. Since Wengxing lacks a proper weapon, it's not going to help him much. Yang explains that hunter weapons increase combat ability and boost powers. There's no time to defeat the creature in their current condition. Yang wants him to escape with his brother, but Wengxing insists on staying. Yang knows there's no point in him trying to fight because he's already lost his loved ones. Remembering the image of the hero who saved him in his childhood, Wengxing rises to protect the A-rank hunter. He activates his skill change ability and transforms, acquiring a formidable set of armor with a hammer and a giant nail. Wengxing is hoping his new fancy weapons will be able to defeat this mutated monstrosity. He deploys use of his ability and then switches into warrior class, shocking Yang with his sudden profession change. In his warrior state, Wengxing lunges forth and delivers an epic slash. The terrifying monster is defeated at last. Wengxing stands the victor as his weapon fades. He focused on increasing his speed points while allowing his weapon to take care of the strength. Yang can't believe his eyes, while Wengxing's gauntlet absorbs the mutated monster's crystal. He has unlocked the wizard profession for it and bounced up to level 4. Wengxing is knocked unconscious soon after. When he wakes up, the boy is surprised to see his brother who is in fine shape. His happiness is ruined as Yutao's zombie state scares him into actually waking up. It was a nightmare all along. He's in the hospital, and Yang has been looking over him for a while. He was knocked unconscious for 3 whole days. But Wengxing isn't worried about himself and only cares about his brother's condition. Yang is happy to take him along. As they move through the hospital wards, the nurses are astonished to find the only surviving leader of the party. But in reality, it's because of Wengxing's help that he survived. He steps inside Yutao's room, scared as to what they're doing to his brother. Unfortunately, he's in bad shape, but thankfully Yutao's mutation has been stopped. But it's a temporary solution for now, so if Wengxing really needs to save Yutao, he's going to acquire an even higher rank than Yang in Skyline City. Becoming a hunter higher than A rank is not an easy job, but with his current powers, Wengxing thinks he might have a chance. Yang is ready to help the boy with his influence, but for now he's curious to know all about Wengxing's secret abilities. After he spills the beans to the A-rank hunter, Yang is in utter disbelief that a system so powerful exists. It helps Wengxing distribute his stats and switch professions in the blink of an eye. Yang thinks it might have something to do with the incident that happened 20 years ago, which caused the apocalypse and the downfall of humanity. More information is available in the city. Yang advises the boy to join the hunter test in 1 week's time. While Wengxing doesn't understand the depths of his abilities, he's ready to fight for Yutao's cause and help save his brother's life. 1 week passes quickly. They arrive at the Hunter Guild, but there's only a handful of applicants coming to join. Yang wonders if Wengxing has been training well, and has already told him not to mention a word of the system to prevent trouble from outside. A familiar voice catches his attention. It's the treacherous duo who betrayed him and left our boy for dead. They're shocked that he's still in one piece, as even brilliant hunters can't always defeat mutated zombies. The bully tries to lunge forth in an effort to strike him down. He thought the results would be the same as last time, but Wengsing easily blocked the attack and embarrassed the guy. Wengsing is in no mood to forgive anyone, and coldly ignores Lan. He's happy to settle things in the hunter exam. The fake bitch tries to get on his good side, acting like she has been worried about his health this entire time. But Wengsing is just shocked that she dares to have the audacity to act like a fool. He hates that she's concerned about Yutao's state, especially with how they betrayed and left them to die. Sparing no words of forgiveness, Wengsing advances ahead with leader Yang. As for Lan, she reveals her true evil side. Wengsing's words have made her mad, and she wants a taste of revenge. Speaking of Wengsing, the dude is getting his limits tested during a physical test. Yang can't help him with the exam, especially with the physical test which forbids any hunter from using their abilities. It's amazing that others can run so fast without even relying on their powers. Wengsing wonders if he's capable of completing this test with just his raw skills. He spots another girl running right past him. Unfortunately, she's stuck at the bottom like him. She taunts him and prefers that a loser like Wengsing gives up on the race. But remembering the reason he came here, Wengsing dashes full speed to advance ahead. Luckily, his last-minute perseverance helped him pass the test, but no one other than him seems remotely tired. The same girl from before freaks him out with a cold water bottle. She offers him a drink, even though our boy still ended up last place amongst the runners. The physical exam is filled with amazing geniuses like Zhao Lin, Feng Yufan, and even Zhou Zhuqiang. All three of these guys are gifted with amazing backgrounds. They're bound to become the elite hunters of Skyline City. But while there are geniuses, there are also nobodies like our boy Wengsing. She comments on how shit his endurance is, and wonders if Wengsing has the guts to pass the exam. He introduces himself as a nobody, but his simple introduction makes her laugh. Wengsing doesn't get her at all. He sees her as a chatty stranger who didn't bother explaining herself. Before she's about to drop a name, the examiners of the test arrive in the training ground. One of them is the legendary hunter Li Yu-ting, who seems to be keenly interested in Wengsing from afar. It seemed like he was walking towards Wengsing, when in reality, Ting is interested in Yun Ke-er. He's excited to see her perform well in this exam. That's how we got to know about the girl's name. She's got an amazing record as a candidate. Ting is done with the easygoing introduction, and immediately drops the big guns. He unleashes many ferocious mutated zombies and instructs the hunters to kill them all. Even Wengsing is shaken. They have to fight real monsters to get out of this mess. It seems more difficult than ever, and it's an outcome not even Yang anticipated. Ting is really challenging the talents of the young candidates. He's happy to help them with certain weapons to make sure they stand a chance at fighting. These weapons are specially designed watches. Wengsing wears one and becomes engulfed in a unique battle suit. The rest of the hunters all got their own unique suits as well. The suit guarantees a power enhancement rate of 3%. Curious, Wengsing asks what it represents. Ting explains that it means the suit enlaces one's natural ability and gives an enhancement boost based off of that. He talks the boy down for having an exceptionally low 3%, as even the average person should boast 10% enhancement. Some of them even got beyond 20%. The gifted candidates are all strong this year. As previously, only one person achieved an enhancement rate higher than 20%. So this means, our boy is effectively cooked. Ting even recommends he runs the heck away. Get ready for Yun Ke-er's score. She's got a whopping 51% enhancement, a record never seen before. Wengsing is starting to realize he's dealing with an actual powerhouse here, but he still finds her personality unbearable to say the least. With that, the 11th Hunter Eczema finally begins. The objective is to defeat 150 zombies, a mix of normal and mutated class creatures. Their performance will be observed using drones. The zombies won't infect the hunters since they're basically lab rats of Skyline City. Ting bids them the best of luck as Yun makes a crashing first attack. Her dominating ability allows her access to a powerful weapon thanks to the reward system of the battlesuit. She slashes down the zombies, just like the other hunters. The sight is impressive to Wengsing, who wonders what his weapon will be. Poor guy was expecting a strong weapon, only to end up with a small knife. Ting laughs his ass off seeing such a phenomenal failure come through. He's even dubious of Yang, who recommended Wengsing in the first place. Yun is actually worried about our boy and sees him getting jumped by a bunch of zombies. But we all know Wengsing can throw hands. He beats them down in an instant, impressing the likes of Ting. A week before the exam, Yang specifically told him not to use the system. After all, if he exposes his abilities, the hunters will capture him and experiment on his body. Since he had no access to his powers, Wengxing wondered what could possibly help him in this exam. Yang grabbed his head and proceeded to attack our boy. One small palm strike on the head sent this dude flying. Wengxing didn't get why he randomly started swinging like that. Yang explained his genius idea. He instructed Wengxing to only use the system at the smallest range possible before closing it again. This would make sure to conceal his abilities in the examination. In fact, that was the purpose of his 1-week training. By now, Wengxing has become a seasoned professional. He activates the system at a fraction of a second, dodging and attacking at the same time before closing it again. Poor guy's forehead was flicked more than a few dozen times in order to master the technique, but it was worth it. Ting observes that his fighting style might consist of a series of burst movements. It's actually quite similar to Yang's personal style. Even so, Ting thinks it will be tougher than that to actually finish the exam. Wengxing knows he has to kill at least 10 more zombies. Just when he was prioritizing getting serious, my boy gets vaporized by a powerful beam attack. It's only his luck that his battlesuit took the brunt of the damage. As for the annoying bugface who struck him down, it's a mutated zombie, which means double the difficulty. Sensing its black flame, Wengxing wonders if he's up against another candidate class monster. Speaking of which, even Yang is frustrated that they're using such powerful monsters in the exam. Ting doesn't bear a sense of care, believing that most of the zombies are weaker than the originals. Still, they're way stronger than a regular mutated zombie. The objective is to strike down candidate class zombies in order to guarantee success. Yang doesn't get why the exam is so difficult compared to the previous years. Ting explains the real issue at hand. A new zombie king has unleashed its terror. Ting wants the best of the best to make sure they can defeat actual zombies on the battlefield. He's happy to let them survive in a fake battlefield rather than die on a real one. Recalling the demise of his fallen comrades, Yang can't disagree with Ting's perspective. A need for stronger hunters is on the rise as they're to face even more powerful zombies than before. Back to the training arena, the candidate mutated zombies are proving too difficult for the hunters. Wengxing understands that the only way he'll win this fight is if he taps into the full strength of the system. But the risk of exposing his powers is too great. Even his weapon is no more, and he's running out of options. The creature lunges forth to claw him down. Yun comes to our boy's rescue, hacking at the creature with her axe. She's happy to save our boy, who is astonished by how powerful she is. The girl killed a candidate class creature with little to no ease. Her accomplishment helps the other hunters regain confidence in their abilities. They launch a retaliation strike to turn the fight around. Ting expected nothing short of the impressive Yun, who boasts amazing leadership skills as well as impressive talent. But only Wengxing has noticed that the creature has yet to be fully defeated. Wengxing tries to steal the kill and wants to finish the monster, but Yun is a second faster than him and takes the kill. Poor Wengxing had nothing left to kill. Unbeknownst to Yun, a mutated zombie has risen to attack her with her guard down. 10 years ago, a young Yun was bullied for not letting up control over the mineral stone. They made fun of the girl and earned her anger. Yun kicked their asses even as a child. Yun was ready to beat down anyone who bullied her. When the poor girl came to see her mother, what she saw was shocking. Her father had just returned from the milk store and wanted to take her to Skyline City. The girl's helpless poor mother sobbed in silence, while Yun celebrated finally discovering her long-lost father. Yun's father revealed that she never had a real mother. Rather, this woman was just a maid who looked after her. The blood of royalty is important for Yun's family, but the little girl didn't care for something like that. She wanted to stay with her mother and treasured her dearly. Realizing the little girl was no longer under his control, the man left, disowning his daughter and shunning her from the Yun family. It was the day the little girl swore to keep on using the name instead. She wanted to prove that she was more than her family's name, but that future was no longer a possibility. Yun was being attacked by the candidate zombie and barely had any chance to counter. Strangely, a black fog protected her from the attack. It's Wengxing who used his assassin class profession, but he's naively using it for a head-on fight. Since he obtained a new profession, Wengxing hopes to learn the new skill quickly. He receives 2 new notifications from the system, informing him of his newfound skills of the assassin class. The cursed monster unleashes a beam and revives the previously defeated mutations. Now the hunters are in even deeper trouble. The monsters are more than happy to have them for lunch. The hunters are confident in their ability to kill them once again, thinking it will be easy. But when one of them tries attacking the zombie, it blocks the attack with a new shield before whipping him with its tail. The revived monsters are even more powerful than ever before. Yun is shocked when she attempts to cut the creature's hand, only to discover that her weapon is powerless now. She's defeated instantly, but our boy Wengxing is there in his cold assassin outfit to protect her. He instructs her to hide as he's going to take care of the boss monsters himself. It's a surprising declaration, especially since it's coming from the same guy who struggled so much in the physical test. Ting observes the black fog surrounding Wengxing and realizes that it's similar to the aura of the Zombie King. Ting wants to act immediately, afraid that something bad might happen. Yang doesn't want to interfere with the exam, and obviously he wants Wengxing's abilities to lay low. Ting emphasizes that the real danger is the fact that the candidate monsters revived, even when they shouldn't have. This means the hunter students are in big trouble. Ting receives a report from one of his men about the Zombie King's energy infestation in the field. His suspicions proved right in the end, and he strongly believes the Zombie King has a part to play in this mess. Taking quick action, Ting instructs his men to help the students evacuate the training ground since it is no longer a mock battle, but a fight for their lives. Over at the training field, Wengxing is cutting past the candidate mutations all on his own. Only one more mutation is left to be defeated. The facility issues an immediate evacuation warning to the participants of the exam. Wengxing is much too busy in his current battle and prepares to end the mutation's life. He executes a devastating slash, yet the creature survives and continues to attack him. Wengxing assesses that its defenses are stronger than the others. So now it's time for a different plan. Activating his kill ability, Wengxing pounces ahead before connecting a downward slash. The mutated zombie is at last defeated, but right when he defeated the monster, Ting and the rest of his battle force came to arrest him. Ting tells him to follow instructions without fail, while Wengxing notes that he could still activate his stealth skill and escape the situation. He does precisely that, and disappears into nothingness. Ting is baffled and commands his men to lock down the area and inspect the defective zombie corpses. Meanwhile, Yang has a concerned reaction on his face. When he later learns from Wengxing that Yun saw him use his abilities, he gets upset and confronts him about it. He has risked exposing his identity and his powers, even though Wengxing hopes that she doesn't remember him. Yang emphasizes the influence and power of Yun's family in the city. The moment she opens up about our boy, he's as good as gone as the entire city will hunt for his capture. Yang outlines a second problem, the fact that Wengxing's body exhibits similar powers to the Zombie King. The truth shocks him. Yang warns him to be cautious of Yun because of her family. Alarmed, Wengxing wonders how much more he has to learn about the system. He is told to rest for now, as the test results will be out in one day. As Wengxing is leaving, he is shocked to find his new escort. A representative of Skyline City expresses interest in Wengxing. He inquires their purpose to know more about Skyline City's intentions with him. It turns out Ting is the one who ordered this operation, and he's ready to talk if Wengxing follows them. He wonders if Ting has already figured out his identity as the masked assassin. The man also points to leader Yang and requests that he come along as well. They're taken to the inner area of the city called the Tower of Babel. In the meeting room, Wengxing is instructed to wait amongst others. He finds some of the notable participants of the exam. Yun is there as well. She confronts him about his sudden disappearance after the exam. Wengxing makes an excuse that he was hiding in the shelter, but Yun easily catches his lie. She's suspicious about him and wants to talk. Ting arrives, interrupting their conversation. He congratulates the group for becoming official hunters, despite the unforeseen accident in the training arena. Ting called for them for an urgent matter. He announces Skyline City's intention to form a new lizard team, which will consist of their newest talents. Ting reveals the exam results of each participant. Starting from the top, Yun has obtained B+ ranking and scored the highest. The other gifted students like Lin, Chang, and Fan have all obtained B rank. Wengxing has placed third into the C rank category because he couldn't use his system to help his performance. The other students aren't fond of his low performance and express their hatred instead. Wengxing is annoyed because he's the only reason these idiots even survived the mutated zombies. He receives a sudden system notification, tasking him with the objective of defeating the Zombie King. Ting introduces Yang as a vice leader of the operation. As for their main leader, get ready for a plot twist. It's revealed to be Zilan, the same bitch that betrayed Wengxing and now shockingly became the leader of the entire group. Ting outlines her impressive abilities in both physical and combat exams. But it's only the truth from the outside. This evil woman secretly used others to bait mutated zombies and then killed them. Lan declares that she will help create the strongest team with her powers. But something about her rank doesn't fit right with Wengxing, who believes she cheated somehow. With both matters taken care of, Ting leaves both Yang and Lan with the responsibility to handle the new team. Later at the Hunter's exam training area, Yang is frustrated hearing Lan's insane proposition. She doesn't want our boy Wengxing to participate in real combat because she thinks he is too weak and will die on a real mission. Yang explains how it's necessary for Wengxing to gain real battle experience. She annoys not only Yang, but also Yun, who finds her disgusting for abusing her authority. Wengxing intervenes and breaks off their fight. He's happy to obey the orders at hand. Lan is happy to see that he's following orders like the weakling he is. Wengxing doesn't react to her provocation. After this discussion, Yun told Wengxing to sneak out with her without informing anyone. He wanted to tell Yang so that he could help them out in trouble, but Yun thinks it's too slow. She wants our boy to quickly beat a bunch of mutated zombies and gain a higher rank to shut their arrogant leader for good. While they're hiding, they see a humanoid mutated zombie. It looks unlike anything they've ever seen before. Yun is prepared to kill the zombie in a single strike, but shockingly, it's no longer there. The zombie uses immense speed to teleport behind them. This one has the ability to form conversation like normal humans. At the training base, Yang learns from one of the students about Wengxing and Yun's disappearance. He also learns that the aura of the Zombie King has been detected from nearby. Yang wonders what they're doing and mobilizes his unit to find them at once. Lan secretly wonders what Wengxing is planning. One of the students hasn't left with the others. He's suspicious of Lan, who became the leader instead of Yang. He thinks her abilities are extremely powerful and wonders about her true intentions. Lan orders him to follow the others to make sure they don't cause trouble to their plans. Yun fights the mutated zombie, who is impressed by her strength. At the same time, she's shocked to find a mutated zombie far stronger than anything she's faced before. After assessing the level of threat they're up against, she orders Wengxing to run. The zombie grabs her by the neck before launching her in the air. He confidently lunges above, thinking that Yun is completely defenseless, but his punch is blocked by Wengxing using his architect profession. His sudden appearance surprises the zombie. Wengxing pummels him with his hammer, launching him into the ground. He safeguards the fainted Yun and focuses on defeating the mutated zombie. The zombie lunges forth to attack him. Wengxing switches profession to assassin and matches the monster's strength in an equal exchange of fists. The mutated zombie reveals its identity as the Zombie King, baffling Wengxing. The raging battle continues. Wengxing is slowly getting overwhelmed by the Zombie King's strength. He taunts our boy for constantly dodging. Wengxing stuns him as he switches his profession and attempts to attack him from behind. The Zombie King easily rotates his body, causing his attack to fail. He grabs his sword and charges a powerful beam attack, launching Wengxing into the next building. He barely survived the attack thanks to his sword. But things aren't looking great for Wengxing. The Zombie King calls him a weakling and mocks Wengxing for not trying hard enough. He wonders why his sword is completely useless against the Zombie King. The system sends him a message stating that his sword absorbed the Zombie King's attack. This is good because it explains why it didn't break. Now that he's armed with this special skill, Wengxing uses his warrior profession to attack again. But his attack is proven completely useless against the Zombie King, who forms a barrier and defends successfully. Wengxing is shocked that even with his absorbed power, he still can't land a successful attack. The Zombie King entraps Wengxing his barrier and nukes it from the inside. He barely survives the attack thanks to his assassin profession skill. Wengxing wonders if there is even a way to defeat such a high-level monster. It is then the system asks if he wants to use the newest profession called Magician. It's the only option he has left to defeat the Zombie King. Wengxing activates the profession change, causing his body to become identical to a mage-class warrior. The Zombie King is bummed by his constant change of professions. He knows that the battle may not end in his favor if he keeps letting Wengxing do what he wants. Using his magic spells, Wengxing launches an attack on the Zombie King, who remains unaffected. In response, the Zombie King creates an energy ball to kill Wengxing, who hopes to counter it with his defensive magic. The clash creates a column of destruction in the nearby area. Lan's henchman student is waiting for the right opportunity to steal the loot at the end of the battle. He doesn't care who wins. All he cares about is improving his own abilities. Too late for this guy, though, who receives a shiver down his spine when he senses a mutated zombie come up from behind. It's the same mutated zombie they fought in the exam. Knowing that he's outclassed, he tries to contact his leader Lan, but it's no use as he gets killed instantly. The Zombie King searches for Wengxing, ordering him to come out of his hiding. The dude barely survived this lethal encounter thanks to his assassin profession. He's running extremely low on mana, so he inspects the item store for an item that could help him out. Unfortunately, there is nothing in the shop that could remedy his mana depletion. Wengxing analyzes his fight against the Zombie King. Nothing proved effective against the monster because of the barrier. He always activates it right before an attack. Wengxing hoped to catch him off guard and hit him before he could activate the barrier. He wonders if the Zombie King is weak to magic. Wengxing's pondering is cut short as the monster discovers his location and strikes him down. He's in a real difficult spot and he's low on energy. Wengxing switches to warrior class, believing that he's found a method to defeat the Zombie King. The confident monster lunges forth to attack him. Their weapons clash against each other, and then Wengxing activates professional change. He switches to architect and uses it to absorb the Zombie King's attack. Using the same hammer, he constructs the Devour Crystal and switches profession to mage class. With his preparation ready, Wengxing launches a final black magic attack. It causes worry to the Zombie King, who realizes that the human has figured out his weakness. Unfortunately for him, the time to act has already ended. Wengsing's spell annihilates the Zombie King's body, leaving nothing but his defeated remains. Exhausted in his condition, Wengsing realizes that the arrogant zombie was unable to use its full power. If he did, Wengsing would have lost the fight for sure. He inspects the system screen and discovers 5 status points. He remembers having 4 points in the exam, which is how he was able to escape using the assassin skill. The system prompts him with an upgrade screen to upgrade one of his professions. Wengsing selects warrior because he thinks it's the most valuable of all. He receives a brand new jacket as well as upgraded armor on top. While he's inspecting his new powers, the awakened Yun asks what became of the zombie. Wengsing explains that he killed it already. The battle force arrives with Yang and the others. He asks what happened and discovers the Zombie King's remains. Strangely, the same student who was killed by the mutated zombie seems to appear fine in front of leader Yang and the others. Yang instructs the group to collect the corpse back to base for research. Student Fan's strange behavior causes Wengsing worry. He alerts Yang to be careful of him. Back at the training base, Lan confronts both Yun and Wengsing for breaking the rules. Despite that, they were able to kill the Zombie King and retrieve its corpse, so they won't be punished for now. Lan doesn't want them to repeat such reckless behavior. Wengsing argues that he has proven his strength by defeating the Zombie King, so now he wants to return to the team for missions. Lan seems fine with letting him join the team. However, she makes a decision against Yun and orders her to partner with Fan in the new team. And if you have yet to catch on, Fan has already been killed and possessed by the mutated zombie. He's like an imposter from Among Us. Yun asks Wengsing if he discovered the Zombie King's purple core after cleaning up its corpse. Surprised, Wengsing admits that he found no such thing. His admission causes Yun to worry, because it clearly means someone else took the Zombie King's core. Back at the hospital, Wengsing learns that his brother's condition hasn't gotten much better. It's recommended that he get transferred to Skyline City for further treatment. Regarding the newly created Lizard team, an interview is conducted with leader Lan, who credits Wengsing for being a strong member of the team as he defeated the Zombie King. The team's first group mission is here. They're tasked to eliminate zombies in Area 32. Each group will consist of pairs. Lan orders them to execute the mission to success. Wengsing notes that he is also paired in Fan's group. He wonders if this is Lan's way of keeping an eye on his powers. He still doesn't have any idea what she's trying to accomplish. Fan extends his hand to Wengsing, hoping to accomplish many things as a team. In the actual mission, Wengsing cuts down a zombie, hoping to achieve many points to level up. But while he's lost in his train of thought, a zombie lunges from behind to attack him. He's about to be devoured when Yang helps him at the last second, saving his life. He advises Wengsing to remain concentrated at all times. Wengsing is surprised because he thought Fan was guarding his back. He apologizes for not helping because he was taking care of a mutated zombie. Wengsing criticizes him for playing solo instead of helping as a team. Annoyed by his carelessness, Wengsing threatens to kill him if he gets in his way. Fan plays the innocent saint and makes him look like the villain. He promises to protect Wengsing with a cunning smile. Yang gathers the group and recommends everyone to stay alert while wiping out the zombies. Our boy observes his points. He's gained double the points from before. While he's off guard, a mutated zombie pounces on him from behind. Wengsing barely reacts and gods himself. This monster masked its presence completely. Lan activates her magic ability and wipes out the mutated zombie in a single attack. It surprises Wengsing that she's actually helping him out. She confronts him for being extremely easy to catch off guard. Not only that, Wengsing doesn't know where his partner Fan went either. An injured Fan emerges from behind. He claims to have fought the same zombie who hid its presence. He couldn't call for help and barely escaped while surviving. Lan commands the team to regroup. After regrouping, she concludes the outcome of the first group mission. The 3 gifted students Lin, Chang, and Yun scored the highest in terms of performance. The only person who performed the worst was Wengsing, who didn't work with the team and consistently kept getting attacked from behind. She shames his performance in front of everyone, until Fan raises his hand and takes responsibility for performing just as poorly as Wengsing. The meeting concludes with Yun getting annoyed with Lan. As for Fan, the mutated zombie doesn't like her constant interruptions with his plans. After the meeting, Yang speaks to Wengsing and learns that Fan is secretly plotting to kill him from behind. Wengsing explains that he's acting weird around him, and the only reason Leader Lan even saved him is because of her own benefit. She wanted to ensure no one died on the first mission that held her responsible as the team's leader. Wengsing doesn't have a solid reason as to why Fan is plotting to kill him. It's almost as if he's trying to use the zombies to attack Wengsing instead. Yang is alarmed by this news and hopes to investigate the matter on his own. Team leader Lan checks the camera footage between Wengsing and Fan. She notices that Fan did indeed get assaulted by the mutated zombie. That's until she reverses the footage and realizes that he threw a shiny thing into the street. Yang comes to confront her about Fan's situation with Wengxing. She hands him a disc containing all the information he needs. Yang also recommends that she stay lenient with Wengxing, but her bitch syndrome is off the charts. She doesn't care about his advice and plans to handle Wengxing her own way. Lan is internally frustrated. Simply ordered Fan to observe Wengxing, but he's ruining things instead. There's the case of a mutated zombie who can conceal its presence, as well as his strange behavior. Lan plans to report her findings to Ting. It is revealed that a zombie is secretly following her. The mutated Fan uses a core and summons many different mutated zombies to act as his servants for his upcoming plans. Observing footage of Fan's strange behavior, Ting asks for Lan's input on the matter. She tells him about her overarching doubts regarding Fan's powers. She thinks he can summon a zombie, which could potentially affect the team's performance. His true intentions are unknown. Lan refused to speak to Yang regarding this matter, but she has a hunch that he knows something about Fan too. Ting orders Lan to cooperate with Yang and deal with Fan's behavior. She receives a sudden notification on her phone. There's a sudden attack on the training base by 3 large candidate zombies. Their ranks are equivalent to Zombie King, which is a huge problem. Lan received an alert from Yang, who was requesting immediate reinforcements. Ting wants to personally handle this matter by observing Wengxing's abilities in action. He wants to see how he defeated the Zombie King. At the training base, the terrifying mutations are giving the hunters a hard time. While some are waiting for reinforcements, Yoon takes the proactive approach and attempts to take down the monsters herself. But she soon meets an undefeatable reality. Her weapon shattered upon impact. Yoon is launched away, but her weapon is completely useless. The monster unleashes a terrifying beam to end her life. Luckily, Wengxing is there to stop it. Shield in hand, Wengxing begs her to look for another weapon while she still has time. The shield breaks as the monster prepares to strike him down. Wengxing is on the verge of using his powers despite his intentions to keep the system hidden. Thankfully, he doesn't have to go that far, as Yang is there to block the attack with a single hand. He instructs Yun, Lin, and Chiang to defeat the other large zombies, while he and Wengxing will focus on defeating this one. The monster prepares a beam to stroke down Yang. Now that the group is nowhere to be seen, Wengxing can flexibly use his magician powers to absorb the attack. He releases his most powerful spell, but it is still not enough to defeat the monster. The zombie easily regenerates its hand with immense regeneration ability. It attacks Wengxing, who activates the assassin profession to go stealth. He charges straight ahead to land a finishing move on its head, knowing that anywhere else will prove to be useless because of its regeneration. Wengxing uses warrior profession and spends all 10 of his points to his attack stat. The attack is successful in severing the creature's head with a single slice. Lan is rushing to the battlefield when she is confronted by Fan. But this guy has changed a lot. The mutated zombie has gained powers of the Zombie King and has come to stop her from helping the others. Wengxing expected the monster to die, but it turns out it's a lot harder to kill than he thought. Even after slicing its head off, the monster regenerates its body and evolves even further than before. Wengxing is launched and is in rough shape. None of his attacks, physical or magical, are proving effective against this guy. It's an opponent far stronger than the Zombie King itself. Strangely, the creature stopped advancing instead of killing him. In his current condition, Wengxing hopes to continue the fight in his stealth mode. He learns about the regeneration core in the monster's belly. Wengxing adds all 10 of his points to stealth, allowing him to achieve complete invisibility. This will help him land a finishing move like he did against the Zombie King. Wengxing activates the kill ability at the final moment and thrusts a powerful attack at the creature's weak point. He thought it would be enough to bring the creature to its knees, but instead his own weapon was shattered. Wengxing is sent flying with a single attack. He's in the worst condition, but for some reason, the monster keeps stopping right before killing him. Wengxing wonders if the electrical wires have something to do with it. Now that he has uncovered its weakness, Wengxing changes his profession to warrior class for yet another attack. While he's busy with the Godzilla-sized zombie, Lan is on the back foot in her fight against mutated Fan. She has received too much damage against the monster who is at the Zombie King's level. Fan punches her down, knocking her away with many injuries on her body. She realizes that there's no way for her to win this fight. The mutated zombie grabs her and ridicules Lan for being such a weak leader. The zombie prepares to end her life with a final attack. As for Wengxing, he was able to block the monster's attack using his sword. Then he switches profession to architect and constructs a stun gun. After adding all 10 of his points, Wengxing releases an electrical shot at the creature's weak point, causing it mountains of stinging pain. With his newly evolved state, Wengxing arrives just in time to stop the mutated Fan from killing their team's leader. A few moments ago, when he defeated the monster, it left behind a regeneration crystal. Wengxing received a sudden system notification about his level up and next objective to defeat another zombie king. That's how he got here. Wengxing punches the zombie king into the next building, impressing Fan. She can't fathom how he was able to gain so much power in so little time since the hunter exam. Wengxing tells her to run off and when because he's busy dealing with a dangerous enemy. Ting's battle unit observes that one of the 3 zombie kings has been eliminated. They've received Yang's message for reinforcements. Ting is happy to enter the battlefield himself. He is highly interested in Wengxing's battle performance. Back to his fight with the zombie king, the mutated monster notes how similar their powers are. He even offers to team up with Wengxing to take over the entire world. Our boy isn't playing around and straight up tells him he's in the mood to kill him. The arrogant zombie king thinks he's stronger and attacks Wengxing, who easily blocks the punch before slamming him into the ground. Wengxing is momentarily stunned to find that he missed. The zombie king launches a super fast kick from behind, which he's barely able to block in time. Wengxing manifests his sword and shocks the zombie king when he releases his dark magic skill. The zombie king knows about Wengxing's profession change ability, but what's puzzling him is how he's capable of spamming the ability without cooldown. The scene switches to Yun and the other hunters fighting against the last zombie king. They're greatly overwhelmed by its strength. Lin is extremely injured while Chang can barely go on. The worst of all is that they can't do anything to wound the monster. The behemoth crushes Yun to the ground. Just when she thought it was her end, she found Ting protecting her at the last second with his barrier. Yun apologizes for being unable to finish the monster and warns Ting of its incoming attack. Ting is so strong that he blocks the attack with a single finger. This man is on another level. He activates Despair Soul, a skill that annihilates the monster and kills it within seconds. Yun is completely baffled by his strength. Ting tells her that the rest of the mission will be taken care of by the Ebola squad. Lan arrives at last, surprising Ting with her late arrival. She explains the situation, how she was confronted by Fan who became a zombie king. Both hunters are shocked hearing this news. Lan explains that Wengxing is currently facing the zombie king and may need support to defeat the monster. Ting is stunned that he faced not 1 but 2 zombie kings right after another. Lan suspects that he may be drawing out the fight to obtain an even greater power. Back to the scene of the fight. The mutated Fan is in rough shape, while Wengxing is as confident as ever. He's way too strong now, far stronger than he was before. The zombie king can't comprehend what brought about such change. He realizes that the only way he will survive is with an all-powerful attack. Fan unveils a shadow sword and proceeds to attack Wengxing, who blocks with ease. Wengxing counters with a strike of his own, much more powerful than the zombie king. The fight is over, as the monster underestimates his new powers. Despite being overpowered, he thinks the rest of the zombie kings won't let Wengxing escape the area alive. Wengxing cuts off his head to shut him up for good. With him defeated, Yang notices Wengxing's increase in strength. At the same time, it is revealed that leader Yang defeated a zombie king all on his own. He was hiding his real powers this entire time. Yang instructs Wengxing to be careful. There's no need to worry as Lan and the others have arrived. Ting wants to arrest him at once. Yang tries to intervene, but Ting is hoping to hear from Wengxing himself. Yun is growing suspicious of Wengxing by the day. She points to Fan's mutated body. The powers of the zombie king manifested into a true form. This is all thanks to his revive ability that was used in the training ground. This ability has unleashed the novice zombie lord, who is confident that he will be able to devour high-rank hunters. Wengxing receives a mission from the system to defeat the zombie lord. He's happy to return with Ting after he defeats this new monster. Wengxing jumps right into battle against the newly evolved zombie lord. Ting observes the outcome of this fight and orders the rest of his squad to retreat to base. Yun suggests they help him instead, especially with how powerful the new monster is. Ting explains that there won't be any need to help Wengxing. He's here to observe the extent of his abilities. Wengxing unleashes his dark magic attack, but the monster can somehow use the same ability. Their attacks are equal in strength. The menacing zombie lord exposes his new powers. He has gained the ability to copy Wengxing's skills, which shouldn't even be possible. The monster releases a powerful beam from its mouth, overwhelming Wengxing. Ting and the vice leaders are observing the fight from base. They can't catch a signal from their drones. Yang wonders if the new zombie king's skill has something to do with the interruption. Ting realizes that it must be using a barrier to alter space and time, manipulating the battlefield. It's possible that it will help the zombie lord's revival. Yang thinks they should inform Wengxing about this new information, but Lan deems it unnecessary. Ting breaks their argument and thinks that Wengxing may not be able to find a way to kill the zombie lord for good. Back to the scene of the fight, Wengxing slices off the monster's head, thinking that he's won the fight. But his worries only worsen as even after slicing it down, the zombie lord regenerates with super speed. His revived ability makes it impossible to put him down for good. Wengxing switches profession to assassin and goes into stealth mode to analyze his weaknesses. The system confirms that its weak point is its head, but it doesn't make sense since Wengxing has already sliced him twice. He goes for a third time, gaining distance and exposing himself to assassinate the zombie lord. Before doing so, Wengxing activates the profession change to warrior and bumps up his attack points. This sudden shift was unexpected. The zombie lord meets its end a third time. This time, Wengxing is certain of his victory. But before long, the zombie lord simply reattaches its head back to its body. It has become immortal, trapping Wengxing in an endless fight until he exhausts his powers. Suddenly, the situation clicks. Wengxing realizes that he was wrong in his approach from the beginning. The zombie lord's true ability is to create a cycle instead of reincarnating endlessly. It's an illusion to fool the hunters. Now that Wengxing knows about his true power, he can find a way to kill him. The zombie lord launches its attack, happy to welcome Wengxing's fruitless approach to slice its head. It mocks Wengxing for using the same approach over and over again. This time, he switches profession to architect and absorbs the attack using his hammer. Then he releases a powerful magic spell. The sword was just a decoy. Wengxing planned to attack him in his core. Activating Enhanced Devour, Wengxing creates a gigantic projection and destroys the zombie lord for good. He receives a notification from the system, informing him about his increase in levels for all professions. Wengxing has also acquired a weapons case. Before he's able to inspect it any further, Ting's battle unit seizes him in pace. They want his immediate transportation to Skyline City on behalf of Ting's orders. Wengxing realizes that these guys were hiding during his battle. They escort him to Skyline City, where he meets Professor Hu requires that he go through a physical exam before proceeding further. Wengxing is worried they will conduct a research on his body. The physical exam is a strange experience for Wengxing. None of the doctors spoke a single word while conducting the exam. Professor Hu is the lead in charge. Wengxing wants to see his brother after this investigation. Suddenly his body is trapped, making him realize that he has been deceived. Professor Hu pulls out his gun and prepares to kill the zombie king. Wengxing is confused and doesn't get what's going on. After the fight against the zombie lord, Yun confronted Yang and wanted to speak with him in private. She asked about Wengxing's secret abilities and if he had any information on his mysterious identity. Yang treated her carefully and thought she was interested on behalf of her family. Yun tried clarifying her position in the Yun family. While this is going on, Yun's father questions why Zilan was hesitant in reporting Wengxing's strange abilities. Back to the medical facility. Our boy would have been killed if he didn't activate his defense magic at the last second. But that doesn't stop Professor Hu from taking him down. He attacks Wengxing with his blade, who tries to clear his name and innocence. Professor Hu is hell-bent on killing Wengxing because he is classified as a zombie king. Our boy thinks he got betrayed by Ting, who issued the order in the first place. Coming back to the scene with Lan, she apologizes to Yun's father for being unable to report him sooner. Without much difficulty, Wengxing punches the doctor and attempts to escape the facility. He is slammed to the ground by an Ebola squad member. Hunter Ting comes around, surprised by what happened. Professor Hu reports his failure to control Wengxing, causing a conflict. But in reality, this guy nearly assassinated him and is lying to Ting. Ting advises Wengxing to follow the procedure as it is nothing to worry about. An infuriated Wengxing questions their purpose. Ting doesn't care and simply tells him to cooperate with the investigation. Wengxing reveals that he nearly got himself killed, so this time, Ting is going to personally supervise the operation. Before proceeding to the next phase, Ting threatens Wengxing about never being able to see his brother again. Speaking of Yu Tao, he finally regains consciousness. The Ebola squad is here to tell him about the secret treatment. Yu Tao doesn't understand a thing. The Ebola unit is responsible for escorting him to a safer location. Yu Tao senses that something serious has happened, and he wonders if his brother is involved. In the investigation room, Wengxing's body is being scanned. Ting asks for a report by Professor Hu can't place a finger on what could cause a sudden mutation. Ting questions how Wengxing was suddenly able to defeat the zombie king. There's the fact that he was a simple C-rank hunter before joining the team, but now, his power is in the leagues of rank A. Ting questions what he's really trying to say here. The professor explains that it may be caused because of a sudden self-conscious burst of awakening. There are hunters who pass the hunter's exam the normal way, and then there are anomalies like Wengxing, who experienced a case of sudden awakening that rivals even the higher-level hunters. Ting gathers that Wengxing's true powers are suppressed for whatever reason. It's clear that the incident involving Yu Tao became a catalyst for invoking his true strength. Ting is intrigued by these findings and arranges a simulation battle to test the limits of Wengxing's current strength. Before the start of the simulation, Wengxing is informed that he will be attacked by zombies from unknown directions. His objective is to eliminate them as fast as he possibly can. Wengxing understands the task at hand. A mutated zombie jumps at him, prompting the system to inform him. Since he has no choice, Wengsing attacks the creature with his full force. He annihilates the monster and impresses Professor Hu. The creature was defeated in milliseconds, which is an insane accomplishment for a hunter. Ting has to discuss something with Professor Hu. Before leaving, the professor secretly instructs Xiang to send the top-secret data to Ting. But in reality, Xiang actually sends the data to Yun's father. The following day, Professor Hu serves our boy his breakfast. Since they got off on a bad foot, Hu assures him that there isn't any poison, so he should eat without care. Meanwhile, Wengsing is really suspicious of the guy who tried assassinating him just yesterday, and now he's treating him like a king. He doesn't have any faith in the professor's words because of his actions. Hu clarifies that he was rude and made assumptions that he should not have, so he apologizes for his misdeed and for jumping to conclusions. Hu explains that his wife and daughter also fell victim to the zombies, so he has a difficult time dealing with his hatred for the monsters. He thinks Wengsing would know about the pain of losing his loved ones, and hopes that he has it in his heart to forgive him. Professor Hu is also the treatment supervisor, which means Wengsing could freely use him for updates on Yutao's situation. He chooses to move on from their previous encounter and requests an update on his brother. Professor Hu confesses that Wengsing should talk to Ting directly if he wants to know more about his brother. Furthermore, he notified him about the analysis mutation test, which will be conducted on Wengsing's body. In the test room, Hu explains the details of the exam. Wengsing's objective is to change his profession class and eliminate the zombies ahead. This is done to record data. Ting observes the scene from above and wonders what Hu is planning by staying in the test arena. One of the candidate zombies is released from containment, forcing the staff to leave the site. The monster roars in its ferocity and lunges to kill Wengsing. He changes profession to assassin and activates stealth mode to detect the monster's weak spot. After analyzing the creature's core, Wengsing evades its attack and readies its weapon to pierce its back. Coating his dagger with devour magic, Wengsing commits the strike, causing the monster an enormous amount of pain and killing it instantly. Professor Hu confirms that the creature is indeed eliminated. Just to make sure, he tries to walk up front to see if there's anything left. Suddenly, the candidate zombie rises from its grave, a sudden mutation of revival that they did not anticipate. Ting is carefully noting down Hu's behavior, while Wengsing realizes that this zombie expresses the same revival ability as the zombie lord. The zombie nearly devours Professor Hu, but Wengsing activates his assassin skill at the last second and severs its head. He checks on Hu's health, who seems to be doing okay and didn't get injured. But Ting has caught on to the doctor's schemes. He knows that Hu purposefully changed the candidate zombie. Hu explains that he wanted to test Wengsing's humanity by placing his own life in danger. This helped them make sure that Wengsing is on the good side. But it was a risky test because the zombie could have devoured the professor on his risky maneuver. Hu was prepared to use an A-rank hunter's might and meet his end at the hands of the monster if he failed. As for Wengsing, the system helps him use the dagger by overflowing it with magic. A few days later, Wengsing is arrested by the Ebola squad. He was doing his mission acting as the professor's junior, but his disguise was seen through. Hu tries to reason with the Ebola squad, but he too is taken down by a swift warrior. Wengsing doesn't get what's happening. These guys are supposed to be working for Ting, and yet they're capturing both the professor and Wengsing. Professor Hu accepts defeat and is prepared to follow their commands. He passes a secret message to Wengsing, implying their next form of action. As they're about to enter the car, Hu takes out a lightsaber from his sleeve and suddenly attacks Wengsing from behind. This comes as a surprise to the Ebola squad, but in reality, Hu was actually targeting the guard instead of Wengsing, who also activates profession change and adds all of his points to attack. Wengsing sends the guard flying with a single punch, allowing them the time to escape. Both of them go into hiding, away from the cameras. Wengsing questions why they're adopting a hit-and-run approach when they could have defeated them properly. Hu explains that if they acted recklessly in Skyline City, then it would catch the attention of the higher nobles or a powerful hunter. They often negotiate with the Ebola team, but if Wengsing used his powers to take someone's life, the elders of the city would never forgive him. There's also the problem about his powers. Wengsing's abilities are considered a secret, and yet they're targeted by Ting's squad. Hu believes that someone is acting like a spy inside the facility. Wengsing questions the true purpose of the investigation and why there is a spy to begin with. Hu doesn't have an answer. He's just following orders and directs him to ask Ting on his own. For now, they have two powerful guards to deal with. One of them is using camouflage ability to mask their presence, so it's best to escape as quickly as possible. Wengsing switches professions to assassin to figure out the enemy's location. From afar, he sees both guards approaching in the distance. He turns invisible using his stealth ability and instructs Hu to do exactly as advised. Wengsing's invisibility is so good not even Hu can see him, so he has to follow his voice. The warrior is in the middle of laying out a plan when he gets his face punched to oblivion. Huey's shocked and fends off the other guard attacking him. Wengxing realizes that he's dealing with a really strong opponent. The female guard sweeps in to punch him, but this time, he dodges her strikes. Wengxing prepares to launch a counterattack with his full strength, focusing on a single attack to end the fight. But to his surprise, the guard slips behind him using super speed. She's so fast that not even Wengxing can keep up with her sharp movements. She manages to grab Wengxing into a headlock, taking away his ability to breathe. The fight would have been over if not for Hu shooting the guard down and saving Wengxing's life. The rest of Ting's squad is here to retrieve both Hu and Wengxing. Professor Hu explains that the Ebola guards they just fought were infused with zombies and were made into a weapon of war. He wants to conduct research on their corpses at the lab. Back at the lab, Ting slams the desk in frustration. He's pissed at the professor's actions, who always acts on his own and causes trouble. Because of him, Wengxing is now missing and their plans have gone to crap. Hu takes responsibility and has already sent out an investigation team for him. Ting hasn't forgiven the professor so easily because he already made a mess with the candidate monster and now his actions ended in Wengxing's escape. Let's revisit Yang and Lan. They have come to know about Wengxing's overdue disappearance in Skyline City. Since he's no more than an ordinary hunter, Yang is afraid that something might have happened to the young boy. Lan isn't worried and sarcastically asks if he's got secrets up his sleeve that Yang is so worried about. Yang accuses Lan for trapping Wengxing, but an offended Lan emphasizes that even Ting has come to take issue with the boy's powers. She's simply waiting for the moment Wengxing's powers are confirmed to be related to the zombies, as it would result in Yang's demise too. Yang, now tensed, warns Lan that she will reap the consequences of her actions if something happens to Wengxing. He exits the room and glances at Yun, who goes inside after him. Yun questions why Lan called for her. She acts all buddy-buddy caring for her health, but Yun knows she has a reason for calling her here. The bitch reveals her true intent and calls out Yun by her family's name. She reveals that her father has been in contact with her for a while and wants the leader of the team to handle Yun behind his back. She's happy to follow the request, a request that is free of Yun's opinion. Yun fires back, stating that she shares no relationship with her former family, so she's not obliged to take care of anyone. She wants to take her leave, but Lan grabs her and warns the girl not to get chatty with Yang as it would only create more trouble for her. Yun exits the meeting, reflecting on her words, wondering if there was another meaning behind what Lan implied. It's possible that her father came to check on Wengxing instead of having interest in her. Yun intends to observe the situation and report her findings to Ting. Back to the scene of the lab, Wengxing is still missing in Skyline City. Professor Hu has called an old subordinate for help on his research. He instructs his friend to copy the data and place it inside the secret castle. Blue Hair over here has his own goals. He wants to steal the data and provide it to the Yun family for a fat paycheck and a chance to stay in Skyline City. Hu copies the data and explains that Wengxing's information has been leaked. That's why he wants to move the location of the data and trusts his old friend to deliver it to the secret castle. Unbeknownst to Hu, this guy is planning to kill him from behind. But the moment he prepares to attack, Hu has a gun placed over his head. In an unexpected twist, Professor Hu knew that he's the secret spy who caused the data leak. The spy thinks the offer from the Yun family was so tempting that he couldn't ignore it. After the fight with the two guards, Wengxing was on his way to return to the research lab with Hu. He received a message from the professor who suspected that it's possible more spies were inside the car. At the time, Professor Hu knew about the spy's identity and wanted to fool the spy by acting out a scene with Ting. Hu's plan was to lie about Wengxing and wanted to make it seem like he was lost in the Skyline City. This would lead to the spy thinking that he's succeeded in his mission. Then, he intended to use the data copy as a trap to lure the spy and finally capture him. Wengxing asked if he needed help on the mission, but Hu thought he would be fine by himself. Wengxing told him that he also has a plan. Back to the present, this is how they managed to capture the culprit behind the scenes. Hu instructs him to drop his weapon and follow their instructions. The man casually throws his knife, only to follow up with a brutal uppercut, knocking the professor to the wall. Not only that, he is revealed to be a hunter who was hiding his abilities. He steals the data from Wengxing and suffocates Professor Hu. It seems like Hu is about to meet his end, but he forgot to account for one person. Wengxing smashes open the door with his attack, ready to beat the living shit out of him. Blue Hair gets up, but his drip is all ruined. He's angry that it has come to this and wants to kill Wengxing to retrieve his corpse to the Yun family. He launches two phantasmal hands, but Wengxing annihilates them with a single wave of blade strike. Even after relying completely on the Yun family's powers, he is no match for Wengxing and is killed immediately. But there's still Professor Hu, who is clinging to the edge of his life. The dude is barely able to talk, and yet Wengxing wants to know about the purpose of the experiment. Ting comes to find the professor in a critical state and gets his healers to patch him up. He's furious that Hu acted on his own without informing him about any plans. Hu tells Ting not to save him. Finally, Ting realizes that Professor Hu has been secretly finding a way to end his life, which is why he acted unafraid in the candidate exam with Wengxing. The rescue team is on its way, but Hu has given up hope. In his dying moments, he confirms the source of Wengxing's powers to be related to the zombies. This comes as a shock to Wengxing himself, who wasn't expecting the system to be related and doesn't understand how it's even possible. Hu explains that the source of his powers links back to the experiment from many years in the past. Professor Hu meets his end after confessing his faith in Wengxing's powers. At the same time, Ting comes to know about the appearance of a candidate monster that the lizard team is currently facing. Wengxing requests Ting to let him participate and return to the team missions, since they lack the firepower to deal with the threat. Ting grants him permission, but he's yet to conclude with Wengxing's investigation and hopes to continue it later. Wengxing sprints away to help his team, while Ting instructs his men to retrieve Hu and Xiang's corpses back to the examination room. He also wants them to seal the area and sends some of his men to observe Wengxing in action. The perspective shifts to the lizard team, composed of Yun and the other hunters. They're facing an endless army of monstrous bugs. Yang suggests they look for the main female body instead of wasting their energy. Lan tells both of them to find the body while they're handling the smaller bugs. Yun is suddenly attacked by one of the bugs with a powerful dash. Yang saves her and recommends that she stay sharp in her surroundings. Yang observes the state of the street, which is in total chaos due to the bug's rampage. He will carve open a path for his team in the meantime. Yang releases one of his abilities, making Yun realize that he's yet to reveal his true strength. At first they think they have found the main body, but it's actually one of the captains of the bug army. The smaller bugs swarm them from every direction, leaving no way to escape. The captain of the bugs is about to attack Yun, but suddenly it is cut to pieces. At first, she thinks reinforcements have arrived. But in reality, it's Wengxing who has made his entrance to the battlefield. Yang sees Wengxing's new power and realizes that he must have leveled up again. He's able to fly using a new equipment called Mechanic Wing, leading the bugs away before activating purgatory magic to incinerate them in heavy flames. When his attack ends, all of the bugs are destroyed in an instant, shocking Yun and Yang. But the mission has yet to end. The next wave of bugs is soon to come. Wengxing confirms having seen the main body from the sky. He wants both of them to pursue the main body while he's fighting the captain of the bug army. Wengxing blocks its fist with ease and switches profession to assassin class. Next, he deploys kill skill and dices the monster to 1,000,000 pieces. Leader Lan surprisingly catches up with him, terrified that he returned to the team. Wengxing gives her an update regarding the current mission to eliminate the main body. He bolts ahead to help Yun and wants to clarify his worries that were left behind by Xiang. Lan wonders why he came out of the blue and how he was able to escape Ting's investigation. The scene switches to Yun's side, who is slicing the bug monsters down. There's far too many monsters, making it impossible for the hunters to approach the main body. The captain bug monsters launch their attacks on the hunters. Yun uses the wall to leap off and cast her attack, but she is interrupted by another bug monster. Yun kills the bug, but another one attempts to strike her from behind. The monster is sliced down thanks to Wengxing, who saved her at the last second. Yun warns him as they're dealing with even stronger and faster monsters this time. Lan prepares the team to cooperate together and kill the main body. The candidate they're dealing with is much larger than usual, so Wengxing recommends that they focus on eliminating the smaller bugs while he takes care of the bigger threat. Yun objects to his decision, because such a number could prove to overwhelm Wengxing, especially with the presence of the candidate rank zombie. But Lan seems to take it as a challenge and happily allows Wengxing to do as he pleases. They leave him to face the threat on his own. Wengxing deploys his system and activates the weapon's case. He pities the bugs for being unable to decide their fate as he's ready to cut them down. Wengxing faces off against the bug army and notices how fast they've become. He's blindsided by an attack from the side and gets crushed into a wall. The system informed him about a high-level skill reward. Wengxing deflects a beam from one of the zombies and concentrates every point on his attacking stat. In an instant, he obliterates the bug captain and receives the gluttonous sea skill. Wengxing is flooded by a bunch of monsters coming his way. He deploys his newest skill, charging a powerful blast that annihilates everything in its path, cleaning up a good part of the bug army. The attack even hurts the main body, unleashing destruction never seen before. Yun and the others spot the attack from a distance, realizing that Wengxing has probably killed the candidate monster. Leader Lan feels the urgent need to notify the head of the Yun family about Wengxing's recent development. He ventures off on her own to find Wengxing, which is unusual for her since she's known to be distant around him. Lan, now away from the rest of the team, reflects that the explosion is definitely a hint that Wangxing's powers increased instead of weakening even after Skyline City's investigation. She thinks it's necessary to speed up the progress of her plan. Lan contacts Lord Yun and informs him about the death of the main body, as well as reporting Wangxing's newfound strength. Lord Yun believes that it's a good thing he's become stronger. He wants Lan to observe his development and collect the zombie corpses he defeated. After all, the data he received from Xiang proved insignificant to his findings. Lan questions what would happen if Wangxing went against their plan. In that case, Lord Yun requires Wangxing to be assassinated so that others can't get their hands on him. She is hoping to receive a good reward from Lord Yun after she completes her task. That concludes the call. Lan takes a peek to observe how powerful Wangxing has become. Her mouth is left open when she spots a massive crater left in the earth. His previous attack annihilated everything in its path, not leaving behind a single trace. Interestingly, one egg survived the disastrous attack even at such a scale. Curious about its secrets, Lan is happy to collect it at once. After defeating the main body of the bug zombies, Wangxing assessed his new skill. Gluttonous Sea is a large-scale attack used to annihilate armies of zombies. The interesting aspect about this skill is that it increases in power after killing each zombie. That means the first zombie to get killed experienced the weakest version of the blast, but the boss monster received 100 times the same damage, making up for an exponential blast. Wangxing returned to Captain Yang, who is awed to learn about his new power. He has yet to uncover the reason behind Ting releasing Wangxing from the investigation. The only clue Wangxing has is that his powers are somehow related to the Yun family. Lan comes around congratulating the hero for eliminating a high-class candidate monster by himself. The kind angel has prepared a reward from Ting to properly accommodate Wangxing for his accomplishment. She wants the team to know about how he managed to defeat the monster. An uninterested Wangxing doesn't care to explain himself and wants to return to training. Lan becomes forceful in her approach and reminds him that she's the leader and that her orders are absolute. Wangxing, being the Giga-Chad that he is, completely ignores her order and leaves to train. Lan processes his actions. She knows he attempted to defeat the candidate creature alone, which means he's trying to imply his true strength. Wangxing wants her to know that he's way out of her league, so controlling him isn't going to be a wise idea. But her hatred for him has yet to vanish. This bitch is plotting his demise and wants to torture him to death. At the lizard training base, Yun is attempting her jog when Wangxing surprises her. He usually isn't the first to talk, so his sudden appearance caught her out of the blue. Wangxing wanted to know why she was absent from the meeting. Yun explains that she didn't feel like it was worth her time, so she insisted on her training instead. She asks about his experience in Skyline City. He tells her that it wasn't anything worthwhile, and he just went through a bunch of investigations. Yun realizes that he's intentionally keeping the details of the investigations hidden. She's curious why he was suddenly required to undergo so many investigations. Wangxing answers that he saved Lan from the Zombie King, which ended in his demise because she reported about his powers. Hearing that he saved the bitch surprises Yun, who wouldn't have helped Lan in a dire moment. Wangxing argues that if he didn't save Lan, then it would risk the zombie lord becoming even stronger and difficult to kill, so he did it out of his own benefit. But even in that situation, Yun shares a grudge against Lan and wouldn't have saved her regardless of difficulty. Yun talks about Yutao and hears that he's receiving treatment in Skyline City to speed up his recovery. She's curious why Wangxing came back. He tells her that his purpose is to become a strong hunter and protect the city along with his brother. There wasn't any specific reason that he came back. Yun contemplates his strange motivation. Their world has already experienced an apocalypse. Not many hunters have the same noble ambitions as him. Wangxing adds that he wanted to support his team as they matter to him as hunters. An announcement to gather the lizard team members echoes in the training base. Wangxing and the others gather in front of leader Lan, who explains that Ting has tasked them with a special mission to deal with Area 29, which has been riddled with zombies. The team will split up all alone, which comes across as strange to Wangxing as they have always taken missions in pairs to support each other. Even Yun is suspicious of Ting's order, but they have no choice but to obey leader Lan, despite their suspicions. Wangxing notices something strange. His system always informs him of the presence of zombies, but he doesn't detect anything in the nearby area. He wonders if the mission really has something to do with Ting's direct order. Wangxing meets up with Yang, who also didn't find any zombie in his search. The fog is getting heavier, and it feels like they're being secretly watched from close by. Yun is alone by herself. She understands that Lan forged this mission and lied to them. An unexpected yet incredibly fast figure passes by her. She wonders if it's a zombie king-level threat. A hand reaches out from behind and knocks down Yun in a single attack. The mysterious figure is cloaked in shadows, and it seems their mission was to capture Yun all along. Yang advises Wangxing to stay sharp on his toes, as Ting could be plotting to capture him again. In short notice, the end of the mission is announced, and they're all requested to gather. The team surrounds itself around leader Lan, who explains that there was a false report on behalf of Skyline City. Wangxing finds an issue with Yun's disappearance and wants to find her. Lan strongly opposes him and states that she was transferred to another team. However, Wangxing's concerns are at an all-time high, and he requests to see the drone footage. Lan takes this as a personal attack, but Wangxing is pissed and punches her away with a heavy blow. She used the best defense magic and still felt immense power from him. Lan frames Wangxing for trying to attack one of his superiors, but this guy is not in any mood to play games. He calls her out for concocting the mission and being responsible for Yun's sudden disappearance. Wangxing's attack is stopped by Captain Yang, who insists that he stand down. Wangxing tries to argue, but Yang speaks for his benefit. It's obvious that Lan could remove him from the team because of her position and rank, so he doesn't want Wangxing to act recklessly and give her a reason. Lan is happy that her co-leader is acting wisely and stopping his advance. She tells the team to return to base. While Wangxing is obviously frustrated, if he goes too far, they will take his brother away from him, a risk that he isn't willing to take. In the Skyline City's employment area, Yun is captured and brought home to her father. She regains consciousness and shouts at her father. Lord Yun demands respect, but she doesn't care to address him as her parent. Lord Yun tells her to follow him, as he's interested in showing her something. The girl is shocked to see the large beast zombie that they faced a long time ago. One of the hunters is able to kill the monster in a single attack, just like Ting. Lord Yun goes as far as to say that his abilities are the same as her. While Lord Yun is uninterested in zombies, the wealthy nobles of Skyline City are spending an enormous amount of money to place betting matches against hunters and zombies. Winning the match helps the hunters become wealthier. They're even offered the choice to fuse the zombie crystal within their bodies to become stronger. Yun realizes that her father has been secretly experimenting and researching on zombie fusion. In case the zombie wins, it could devour the hunter's heart, becoming stronger than ever before. Yun is offended. She and the rest of the hunters stake their lives killing zombies every day to protect the city, and yet the wealthy nobles are using them like guinea pigs for entertainment. She can barely see them as humans. Lord Yun considers it a part of his business, and explains that it's just a way of making money. He offers Yun to join him instead of risking her life in the slum areas every day, but the proud hunter refuses to stoop to his level. She demands to be sent back to her team. Lord Yun addresses his real concern, that being Wangxing, making her realize that his target has been Wangxing all along. Yun tells him that she barely knows him as a teammate, but Lord Yun thinks he'll come flying to save her when he learns that she's in trouble. Yun is ready to fight her father to ensure that never happens. At the lizard team's headquarters, Captain Yang is resting in his room. He gets up to scout for night patrol as part of his work. Yang is surprised to learn that Wangxing's door is open. He curiously investigates by barging inside. There, he doesn't find a single trace of Wangxing. Our protagonist is currently on an investigation of his own. He's checking Yun's room and deduces that all her items are intentionally disorganized. It's a message to convey that she didn't leave on her own. Wangxing wonders what the mad hunter Lan is planning and decides to search for more clues. A certain someone is tracing Wangxing from behind. He goes outside and still finds nothing about Yun or Lan. Wangxing recalls Captain Yang's warning, who informed him that someone had been secretly watching them. He wonders if this spy is also responsible for causing Yun's sudden disappearance. He stumbles upon the Yun family's official badge and finds himself confused as to why it's there. Yun senses someone from behind and tries to attack them. Thankfully, it's just Yang who blocks the attack and questions what Wangxing is doing outside at night. While he didn't follow him, he was just on night patrol and happened to notice that Wangxing was missing. The hunter explains that he wanted to investigate Yun's matter in detail, but it was all in vain as he couldn't find anything worthwhile. The only thing he discovered is the family crest. But the idea of the Yun family kidnapping their own daughter doesn't sit right with the captain. Wangxing suspects that it might have something to do with the family's secrets, which may be requiring them to kill her. Yang thinks otherwise. It's unlikely that Yun knows any dirt on her family, so if they wanted to kill her, they could have done so a long time ago. The fact that the Yun family badge is intentionally left here is also suspicious. Yang thinks it might be some kind of trap. He mentions how Wangxing has been acting strange lately. He rebelled against Lan and tried to search for Yun of his own accord. He also went to Skyline City and experienced its horrors. Wangxing confirms Yang's words, and he's certain that his powers are related to the Yun family. He didn't have a means to find something through Yun, who knew little about her family. That's why Wangxing ended up arguing against leader Lan out of impatience and a need to act. Right now, he feels compelled to save Yun from her family. The captain asks if he knows where they're even located, but this stupid buffoon doesn't even know that. Yang, being the best character, decides to help Wangxing by offering him a safe path to the Yun family. The next day in the training arena, Lin and Chang are fighting against each other. They've honed their skills and become faster. Captain Yang is questioned by Leader Lan, who wants to know why Wangxing is absent from his usual training. Young reports that his brother had a recent issue in Skyline City, so he's on his way to help him, and will likely stay there. Lan smirks, predicting his lie, and realizing that Wangxing has already made his move against the Yun family. She's happy to learn that everything is going exactly as planned. Yesterday night, she had a meeting with the head of the Yun family. He wanted to leave intentional clues for Wangxing by making his daughter as bait. This would force him to save Yun.